Hey, everybody, you are watching and listening to the We Are Rizin podcast. Your host, Andrew Benjamin, joined by beyond, back from the grave, apparently, CJ from Sogokaku. How you doing,
How you
sir?
doing? Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get you on because I definitely wanted. There's been a lot of stuff happening with like women's MMA, Joshi MMA, whatever, however you want to call it. And so, yeah, you're the experts.
Huh?
You're one of the experts.
Yeah, just one of them. Yeah. Well, there's
I
a lot
figured.
going on.
Oh yeah. I figured we should just start off kind of like I guess probably the number one thing at Deep Jewels 45 coming up.
Yeah, they have a very big show coming up.
You want to take us? I mean, the beginning, those opening prelim cards. There's really nothing really to say about except that I think Sumimura's daughter is fighting, I believe, and
And
Kitaoka's
Kitoka's
wife.
child bride is also fighting.
Yes.
Appropriate. But no, his wife is fighting. She trains at Palestra, so that means she trains with the likes of like Satomi Takano and probably Kitoka's coaching as well as like Rocky Kawamura. But
She
I
trained at
figured
Palestra. You said?
what?
Well, Kitaoka's wife trained. She doesn't train at Lotus.
No, Palestra.
She doesn't train with him at Lotus Setagaya.
Kitoka teaches and is involved at Palestra in Yokohama.
Oh, okay. Okay,
I think
gotcha.
he also has like a yoga school type situation, but he's involved at Palestra and he seconds and trains all the fighters there.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, I just thought he did set a Lotus.
No, no, I think he's bounces around. He's an interesting guy, but I figure just because you know how the kind of these cards go, the first couple fights are for younger fighters to get experience, explore potential stars, and so there wouldn't be a lot to talk about with those fights, to be honest. So I thought we could just skip ahead and start with the Rin Nakai Hime fight.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry, getting up right now so folks can see. I don't even think they added it. No, they didn't. Oh my god, Tapology is really behind. Anyway, um,
yeah.
okay,
So the website you should go to is just go to the Deep Jewels website because they have all the graphics cards on there.
so funny how up to date their website is. Yet they can't even get their social media like
I
squared
think,
away.
I think Zach helps them out with their website, to be honest, and their social media. But just go up and
This one right here, right? Deep Jewels 2001, right?
yeah,
I'm gonna load their Instagram just in case as a backup. In case their website's not. And I have no. That is not Deep Jewels. I don't know. That was not Deep Jewels.
it wasn't.
Oh, this is their website might be down because it's not loading.
Oh, that's interesting. It's working here. But this is the website right here. Maybe
Uh,
whatever. Don't worry about it. But
yeah. There we go.
so Rin Nakai was originally slated to face Aoi Kuriyama, and it would have actually been a rematch from last year. It was actually Rin Nakai's last fight. I believe it was in early of last year. But Kuriyama's fought a couple times since, including in Rising, where she got a cool KO victory over Miri Kumagai. But I think she tore her rotator cuff. She had like a shoulder injury. And so she was forced to withdraw from this fight. And so then in an effort to save it, Rin Nakai kind of went to social media and made an appeal. Like, if anybody wants to fight me, they should step forward. And two fighters stepped forward that I saw. The first one to step forward was Honoka Shieta, which is the newly crowned Pancrase flyweight champion, who has been making all sorts of waves, actually, because she made her pro debut just about a year ago. She's already gone 4-0. She beat Takayohashi to win the title. And she trains at the newly branded gym, the Black Belt Japan, which used to be like, what are those gyms called? Palestra. I'm sorry, I misspoke. When I said Kitoka teaches, he doesn't teach at Palestra. He teaches at Pancrasism in Yokohama, not Palestra. That's a little fix from a comment I made earlier. The Black Belt Japan used to be a branch of Palestra, but now they've been rebranded as the Black Belt Japan, and it's kind of headed by Ray Tsudaya's. Ray Tsudaya's father is the coach, and they put a lot of work into putting a pretty good women's team together there now. If you guys remember, I think Valentina Shevchenko actually trained there, and now they have Kana
You're
Asakura.
lost.
I mean, she was eventually going to lose anyway, but Kana Asakura trains there. She's probably the most famous, but Karen, who is also the Pancrase strawweight champion, former strawweight champion, trains there.
I don't mind the rail CJ. Is there a reason why they changed their name? Is it kind of like a JTT thing where they just like kind of like want to rebrand?
I don't know the exact reason. I think that they used to be affiliated because Pyrestra has like this whole gym network. And the most famous fighters would be Ray Tsudaya, who trains at that one, which I believe is the Pyrestra Kashiwa branch. But I think Taira also trained at like Pyrestra. Taira trained at like Pyrestra Okinawa or something.
Yeah.
And they're all
I thought Tsuruya wasn't Ray at Chiba because that's where his father was coaching?
No, there's a different one called Chiba. I think both of those I think they have 2 gyms. And I think they both become the Black Belt Japan. It's very confusing.
Okay.
But the other one's like in Kashiwa. But I think they've broken apart from the Pyrestra network and become their own thing.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I think they've just become. They built a new gym recently. They actually built it during COVID. I remember because they did like some cool crowdfunding stuff to help pay for it. And because it's out in Chiba and kind of the rural area outside of Tokyo, the gym is very big by Japanese standards. It is 2 floors. The first floor has a whole boxing ring, and the second floor is all net. So it's very big by Japanese standards. But they've been doing very well. I think one of their guys just won a championship over in Pancrase at the last event. And Honoka is now the flyweight champion. So, I mean, they've been doing very well, and looks like they've put a pretty good team together. So I just wanted to mention that because Honoka came up right here. But for obvious reasons, she's the newly crowned Pancrase champion. Rin Nakai used to fight in Pancrase, but now she fights in Deep. And I think that was kind of an impossible fight to put together just because of the short time frame, the 2 promotions. I think Rin Nakai also made some crazy demand. Rin Nakai made some demand where she wanted Honoka to put her Pancrase belt on the line.
That was the yeah.
And that
in a way, you kind of understand because didn't Rin Nakai when she left? Was it before she came to UFC? That was her home promotion, I believe. Right?
It was.
Yeah.
Pancrase has traditionally been a very direct route into the UFC, and that's how Rin Nakai got into the UFC. And she was a champion there, but she forget what weight class. Probably would have been flyweight, to be honest. Yeah. But it's making it. You have to put the title on the line, though. That was just never going to happen because Pancrase wouldn't want to do that. I mean, look what happened to Deep Jewel. They lost all those belts to Black Combat. Now they have to win those back. So I
was going to say, what could happen to Salt?
Exactly. So so that just was never going to happen once those demands got put up. But it was good. It made Honoka look good because she was calling out a big, strong fighter in the division. But the other fighter that called out Rin Nakai was Hime, who was much more realistic opponent because she's a staple of Deep Jewels. And I think this is actually the heaviest she's actually ever going to fight. In her pro debut, I think she weighed 121 pounds against Kate Lotus. And I think her last fight was at super atom weight. So she's going up several weight classes for this fight.
I mean, I don't want to be one to tell a fighter, listen, this is a dumb fight for you to take, but I have to say this is the dumb fight for Hime. All the credit in the world, but like, I don't know. Like, it's I don't know. It's
one of those things, right? Where
if you look at the
picture, clear that she wants to fight
Mikai's arm versus Hime's arm. Just look at that.
Well, Hime has made it very clear that she wants to fight for Rizin, and she's lost a couple recently. So I think she's figuring to get their attention, I'm going to have to gamble, roll the dice, and hope that I can beat Nakai because that'll put me back up there as a potential rising fighter. So I see why she's taking it, But on short notice, Rin Nakai is going to have a huge power advantage. I mean, you remember when Rin Nakai fought just was it 2 years ago when she fought in the Deep Jewels flyweight tournament,
Yes,
and she ragdolled Sugiyama.
yeah.
And Sugiyama is like a fitness model who's very muscular and much bigger than Hime. So the only chance that Hime has, in my opinion, is Rin Nakai is traditionally a very slow starter.
Yeah.
She likes to I think she's trying to get as much ring time or cage time as possible. She likes to test out. It's like she's like a cat playing with her food. She likes to test some stuff out. The problem is that Hime only has one knockout finish her entire career. And I will say Hime hits very hard, but it doesn't change the fact that she's moving up in weight, fighting a bigger opponent, and she only really has one knockout in her entire career. And she's no spring chicken herself. I think she's 37 years old. So I think it's going to be a very big ask for her.
I also just don't know what Ring the guy maybe is so.
If she couldn't stop the grappling of Machi, this is no insult against Machi, but Machi is Hime's size. If she can't stop the grappling of Machi, she's not going to stop the grappling of Ren Nakai.
The other thing, yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, it's like I'm pretty sure that probably Hime's even maybe I would say slightly better striker, but with Nakai's power advantage of that, it's like it probably would negate any sort of any of Hime's advantages on the feet. And
Well,
if it goes to the ground,
she's faced good strikers before, and she's never been finished with strikes. I don't think she's ever been finished, but she's never been finished with strikes. And so a big ask.
But it's one thing to be punched by another atom weight. Now you're being punched by an action figure of a human being.
Even if Ren Nakai is not the most technical striker, which I think it's actually hard for her to strike because her muscles are so big.
Her shoulders are so she moves like it's like you know what she is? Yeah, it's like Michael Keaton Batman. She kind of moves like she was like.
You saw it in the last Ao Kuriyama fight. She hits so hard. Like it makes a different noise when she hits people in that division. And I don't think Hime is going to be able to handle that at all. I think you're right.
Well, do you think that they'll try to do Kuriyama Nakai again? Or do you think we're going to not see Nakai not fight for another 3 years after this?
There seems to be kind of a pattern emerging where I think Nakai clearly wants to fight in the UFC. And
she seems to meld down on that whole I'm gonna game end myself if I don't find the UFC. That I was from what I'm seeing on her social media.
She posted recently because she was pretty upset that Motono got into the road to the UFC event, and that they were also they didn't have a tournament, but they are having flyweight fights there. So she feels slighted by that. She wants to know why she can't be part of it. And she very clearly wants to do that. So I think she's just taking this fight just to stay active. But I expect after that, she'll be trying to find a way to get back into the UFC.
The other big question I have is she still with Iridium? Or is that that's probably done at this point? Remember when she signed with Iridium?
Yeah, no, she's still with them because she tags them in all of her posts. If I had to
maybe she may not still be signed with them, and maybe she's still tagging them. It's possible.
No, I think if I had to guess, because I think this might be the similar situation with other fighters in Japan who have signed with Iridium, is that Iridium is kind of like their North American manager, and they're free to do whatever they want in Japan, so to speak.
Gotcha. Yeah, just overall, I don't I know her husband. Her crazy husband is the one who does.
Oh, don't throw that out. We don't know if it's her husband or not, but
maybe
her coach,
maybe her husband, maybe her coach. Who knows? Allegedly, whoever's on her social media has a way of let's just say it's a very un-Japanese way of speaking on social media.
Well, I mean, I just don't think they're the participate with this. I don't think they're very social media savvy, to be
Oh yeah,
honest.
no. I mean, also they're. I guess you could call the equivalent of country bumpkins. Because they are from like
Yeah,
right.
well,
Aren't they from,
I think they just
like
little. I think they live in their own little world where all they do, because they're fighters, so they just train all the time. And I don't think they know that much about technology or social media.
I'm
So
actually still surprised that nothing came about from that Izawa Nakai thing. And remember that
oh
where
yeah, where they got mad because I believe it was Izawa's coach said that she like made Nikai tap in practice or something, and then they released the footage. Yeah, but that was
you
never
kind of
going
think
to
that
happen.
Verizon would have capitalized on that because they love to capitalize on like I don't know if you saw the Bayno was at the press
Yeah,
conference
it's
yesterday
just
showing him the negative like I don't know. It seems like that's something that Verizon would have like tried to like latch onto.
yeah, but I just don't think that. First off, I don't I mean Rising seems less interested in women's MMA than they used to be. They
Yeah.
aren't putting the fights that they used to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Um, Oh, but speaking of also deep fuels on 45, I think would you like to just talk about Oshima versus
Well, we can
yeah.
do the next one actually, the co-main event with Machi versus Park.
Oh, that's the co-main event. Oh,
Interesting.
I thought that wasn't. I thought Oshima was a co-main event.
Oh, come on, man! You don't put Oshima in the co. She's main event all the way.
Okay.
No,
Oh
but
yeah, go ahead.
kind of interesting. Did you know this is Park's first fight at strawweight?
Uh, no, I did not know that. I thought maybe like beginning of her career she may have done like one or two. That seems to be like kind of like
Wrong, but I looked back and I don't think she's ever fought at strawweight before, at least
oh,
in MMA.
okay. Um, I mean, what do you think? I mean, who do you think is the clear favorite in this one?
It's gonna be a tough fight, in my opinion, for Machi because she's the type of opponent that Siwoo Park does very well against. Because Machi, even though they're moving up in weight, Machi should, in my opinion, be at atom weight anyway. And I imagine there won't be that big of a height difference. Siwoo Park is ripped, so I think she'll probably have a power advantage. And Machi's coming off of that Arisa Matsuda performance, which is kind of less than impressive because she just almost abandoned all attempts of striking or like doing any ground and pound and only tried to grapple, which is why I think she lost that fight. I think
Mm,
if she would have done anything on the ground besides just holding, she would have won that fight.
mhm.
But yeah, Park is very has Park isn't. I mean, come on, we all know who Park is by this point. She's not going to like throw up an armbar or a triangle and submit you on the ground, but she's very hard to take down. She's developed great takedown defense. She's become a very what's the kind way, but patient fighter who likes
Mm.
to stick on the outside and win on the points. And if Machi gets frustrated and comes forward, Park's going to light her up, I think.
Yeah, you made a good point that she is a slow and deliberate fighter, but she's slow and deliberate, but still knows how to get that into her to her advantage, like in the Reina fights, which depending on who, some people say she
Yeah.
won, some people say she didn't, and also it's she that's how she was kind of playing against with like Izawa as well in the second fight at least.
Well, I mean, I think the big changer in her career was her second fight with Oshima, where
Mm.
she just absolutely cracked Oshima, but she got a little overexcited, dove in, and fell into an armbar.
Yeah. You
And
don't have to, she didn't have to worry about that with Princess the Rocket. So,
no,
she
no,
knew what she was doing.
I'm just saying though. After that, I think she's become way more cautious, and I think she actually there's an argument to be made that she won both of those Seika Izawa fights.
Both of them? Even the first one?
Yeah, because I think the first one is so marred by the illegal kick.
Mm.
But on rewatching it, I think a lot of damage to the face was done before the kick. I don't think the kick was as bad as people thought
Mm.
it was.
Don't forget, remember also in the second fight, remember, didn't you like flash knockout Izawa.
It's hard to tell, but I think when I watched it, the GIF just replaying constantly. Who's that guy? It was Luke Thomas. I watched it 5,000 times. But when I was watching it,
Mm.
it seems very clear that she goes unconscious when she Siwoo Park does like a running stomp thing. If you remember that, she like stomped her head in the corner because Siwoo Park did this weird, Izawa did this weird thing where she was just kind of laying on her back, and Siwoo Park just like stomped her head. And in my opinion, she went unconscious. But I think Izawa said she didn't. She just was like really tired or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much you believe.
Yeah. I mean, also the deep rules are different than the Rizin rules. So
But this will be a title fight, so it should have grounded kicks and the ground opponent. Yeah.
Okay.
Soccer kick should be legal in this because it is a.
I never know how the deep rules are until I actually see. If I see somebody soccer kick and they get away with it, it's like, oh, okay, now I know that's allowed. And then the person gets disqualified. I'm like, oh no, that was not allowed. So I never know until I actually see. They don't. It's not like a knockout where they have like deep blue, deep red, deep black, and I'm like, okay, I know how the rules go.
This is a title fight, right? So it should be 3 rounds with like the 5 judges thing going on, right?
Yeah. Well, I know at the time I don't think they were doing the 5 judges, right? Or were they doing 5 judges at the time? I thought that was
No, they'll do it for this fight because it's a title fight.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Izawa and Park. Excuse me. I'm losing my mind.
No, but also we should talk about the fact that the reason this is a title fight is because Arisa Matsuda was rumored to be taking part in the Road to the Ultimate Fighter that's happening very soon. But there must have been some mix-up backstage because this fight is now an interim strawweight title match, which is what Matsuda just won by beating Machi late last year. So I think Deep assumed she wasn't going to be around, and something must have happened because I remember people were even reporting on like Twitter and social media that Matsuda was going to be part of the Road to the Ultimate Fighter. So who knows what happened there?
Ultimate Fighter or Road to UFC?
What?
Did you say Ultimate Fighter or Road to UFC?
I meant Road to UFC. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's Road to UFC. So the one that's happening this week, I think.
What do you think? Was there like miscommunication between the management, or did she like? Was it already planned, or what do you think happened with that?
It's hard to say because she is a strawweight, and it seems like the focus of this tournament is strawweight. So she falls in there, so it wouldn't have been a one-off match. I think she would have been part of the actual tournament. So there must have been something like a dispute with the management, or maybe she got injured. Something must have happened.
At least it's not like who's the guy in SHOOTO who's gonna fight in UFC?
That's the one where the UFC, like the SHOOTO, threatened to like sue him for breach of contract.
At least Deep isn't like that.
Well, it's beneficial to them because when a fighter goes, kind of like when Mizuki went, then all of a sudden, whenever Mizuki's mentioned in any article, Deep also gets mentioned. They realize that it's good press for them.
Didn't it also? I think Victor Henry just like vacated the bantamweight title. Like maybe I think it was last year. He was still.
I think somebody told me that they're actually talking to Josh Barnett about vacating his Pancrase title.
Okay.
No, but if so, with this fight, it's very close. If Machi manages to get it to the ground, I think she has a very good chance of finishing Park on the ground. But I think she'll have a very hard time getting Park to the ground. And if she comes forward too aggressive, kind of like when Oshima fought Park, when Oshima fought Hime kind of situation, I think she'll get lit up.
Gotcha. I apologize how awful the how tapology is here, but would you like to talk about Oshima
Of course. Main event.
Or Kami next?
Yeah, I think it looks like a great fight. They both have microweight championships. One's the Deep Jewels microweight champion, one's the Deep microweight champion, and they're going to kind of consolidate the titles. Just to clear up the confusion, the reason these two titles exist is because they had like this Deep had a microweight tournament during COVID or right before COVID, and Satoko Shinachi was part of it. And Sakako Shinashi's actually, I don't think, ever fought in deep jewels. She always fights on deep cards. And so they kind of made this tournament, and she's always been like a favorite of deeps. So they kind of made this belt for her, but she lost. I think Nisei like knocked her out in the opening round. And then Mizuki Furuse was supposed to fight Amp the Rocket, but then Mizuki Furuse got pregnant. So they just gave the title to Amp the Rocket. But then Mizuki Furuse still came back and fought before Amp the Rocket did. So it kind of became like this whole crazy situation. And then they started getting these microweights over in deep jewels as well. So that's how that title got born. And now they're finally consolidating titles.
Okay. So this is what do they call it? What do you call it when you put combined titles? I forgot what they call that.
Title consolidation.
Something like that, yeah. Merging or whatever they call it. Yeah, okay, finally. Anyway, in my personal opinion, though, I think that Oshima's probably the better grappler between the two
kind
of
of
them.
strange, right? Because they're very different grapplers. Murakami is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but she also got started in martial arts like way later in life.
Mm-hmm.
And Oshima has been like a hardcore judo head since she was like 3.
Mm-hmm. I just think that Oshima, like that Claire Lopez fight, like other than the recent loss she had at Black Combat, like I'm just more and more impressed by what I see from Oshima and how she approaches all of her fights.
Oshima has weaknesses, like she's very short. She moves, which wouldn't be a problem at microweight, but she loves to fight. So she's fought all the way up at strawweight before. So her in those situations, kind of like a Black Combat, she struggles against strikers, which she doesn't really have to worry about too much here, I don't think. And because she has her judo background, I think she'll be the one that decides whether it's a standing or fight on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And also the fight, if you look back at their histories, their common opponent of Moetti Suda, I think if you look at how those results ended, it's kind of telling because Saori Oshima absolutely massacred Moetti Suda. She like threw her to the ground and ripped her arm off. Where Aya Murakami's fought her twice and beat her the first time. The second time, Moetti Suda kind of figured her out. And because Moetti Suda, I'm very high on, is very good at making a game plan. And she just refused to engage in Aya's guard. And when that happened, Aya had no response for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a difficult situation for her. And whereas Oshima was much more able to implement the fight that she wanted to. Plus, I mean, Oshima, in your defense, kind of adding to what you're saying, just the caliber of opponents that she's faced compared to Murakami's is very different.
Mm-hmm. But also, I think Oshima. See, I think. I'm gonna put it this way: it's like so comparing two other grapplers. Okay, so like Masanori Kanehara, Clever is always hunting for that finish, and it'll be both his is both good and that's both positive and a disadvantage for him. I think Oshima kind of is always hunting for that finish, but she doesn't make the mistakes that leave her open to being, maybe.
Well, you are correct. She does kind of sometimes put herself in bad positions because she is always going for the finish.
Yes.
Like she'll fall out of a good position because she's going for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it also means that, I mean, she has way more submissions on her record than Murakami. Murakami finished her first 3 opponents, but her last 3 wins have all been decisions.
I think also this. I think a lot of opponents, since they're bigger than Oshima, I think a lot of them underestimate what she can do with her size. They look at her short legs, short T-Rex arms, and they think, okay, I'm safe from a triangle. I'm safe from an armbar. She can't sweep me because you usually think, oh, the tall, lanky guys like an Oliveira, Silva, they're the ones who can do all these submissions. But no, I think a lot of them underestimate how sneaky and how she can get those subs in for somebody her size.
Oh yeah, well, I think Oshima is incredibly squirrely on the ground, and she's almost like the queen of the scramble.
Yeah.
Like whenever a chaotic situation happens on the ground, she seems to always end up in a good position.
Yeah. Even when she gets swept, she somehow can reverse the sweep. And if she gets reversed again, she could like the whole Claire Lopez. I think there was one point where they like swept each other maybe at least 4 times. There had to be at least that.
Well,
Yeah.
she has that great quality of fighters on the ground where they refuse to surrender a position.
Yeah.
They like always make the person work for it. They're always rolling for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I compare them, I feel like Oshima looks like she's the more powerful between the two, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think
Murakami's more like flexible.
Murakami is, she's good. I just don't know if she has the high level grappling. If she takes a fight slow and looks at how previous opponents have beat Oshima, like the Korean fighter from Black Combat, I think there is a blueprint to beat Oshima, like particularly like that. Kind of just.
Yeah, but I don't think Murakami can implement that game plan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. If you see Murakami as well at the Muscle Go Club, tell her Gambare des, and also thank
But
you.
yeah, this fight's kind of interesting too because they're both fighting at microweight, but they both also fight above microweight all the time.
Yeah.
I know that Murakami wants to go to Rizin. Oshima fights whoever will take her. I mean, she goes to Black Combat, she goes to Deep Jewels, Rizin. I think she also said she wants to fight abroad. And the winner of this, I mean, I think the big takeaway from this is if somebody wins this fight, well, I'll say if Oshima wins this fight, there's a chance she could fight abroad if she wants to. Because she's
also, you're gonna say she could fight Izawa.
I just don't think that fight's going to happen. I've heard some rumors that Izawa might be fighting at the Super Rising card.
Probably, yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
And if they're going to do that, I think they're going to bring in some like foreign opponent for her because that's how Rising pre-COVID, every single fight was like Japanese fighter versus foreign fighter. That's what they like to do.
Hey, listen, they're getting back on that pre-COVID thing, booking. So hey, kudos to them. I just wish we could get that fight, but I think that's probably going to be our Khabib Ferguson for women, Japanese women at MMA. Unfortunately,
I just think that if Oshima wins this, I think she'll try to do something because she always has like that. She's very secretive. She was always talking about how she has like a plan that she wants to do, and she needs to win fights for this plan to happen.
Yeah.
And when someone tells me they need to win fights for the plan to happen, that means they're trying to get a fight abroad to me.
I see. Is she still ever said that she's still sticking to her word that she's going to retire at like whatever? Has she still mentioned that? Because I remember she was saying that like.
If I've noticed one thing about her, it's that she changes her mind a lot. So she's very human. So yes. Who knows? Who knows? But this fight to me actually is a very exciting fight. I think it's the best fight on the card because they're both very different grapplers, but I mean, Oshima's just such a stud. And if Murakami beats her, that'll be a huge statement. I mean, think of the opportunities that'll open up for her if she beats Oshima. It'll be her biggest win to date. Open doors up to potentially Rising and other things like that. So either way, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yep. Other things as well. Mahina is 16 years old, making her pro debut, right?
She fought before, right?
I think so. I don't know, but I mean, yeah. Oh, also randomly, Juki was watching my stories on Instagram. I have no idea how she found me though. I've never shared any deep things, but somehow she found my Instagram.
All right. So you're cheering for her?
I guess so. Yeah, she's gonna give me attention by all means. Yeah. But yeah, see, you can check out Deep Jewels on the Deep YouTube channel through the subscription service.
In Japan, you can watch it on Unext, which is how I'll be watching it.
Or just go to the show. I mean, if it's not sold out, I don't know. Is it sold out?
I don't think so. I saw Rin Nakai was posting earlier today about people should order tickets directly from her.
Is she doing like that special where like she'll like send them like a card of her? I know.
There is something like that. Yeah, I think she was posting like a keychain or something.
Okay. Oh, beautiful. Anyway, you want to talk about Shooto, Road UFC, or Sawada next?
Let me see. Well, just quick on it. I mean, I'm sure people are aware, but on the 18th, Amy Fujino will be facing Megumi Sugimoto for the Shooto strawweight title. And it's kind of a funny fight to me because they're fighting for the strawweight belt, but I believe they both fought in the atomweight tournament last year, so it's kind of funny. But for this fight, I noticed that Sugimoto actually went with Rena and is training at Thailand for this fight. Rena seems to be training in Thailand all the time recently.
That's becoming. Have you noticed that there's kind of like this trend with Japanese fighters? They're either going to the United States or they're going to Thailand.
Well, Thailand's so close. I mean, that makes way more sense than training in the U.S.
Yeah. Well, I should say by U.S. I should mean ATT with Kyoji. So
that's true. No, but yeah, so they're over there, and it'll be interesting because Sugimoto is just a wrestler. She's married to Abe Sensei, who owns AACC, and Fujino is just like built like a brick shit house. Trains at Japan Top Team, been fighting forever. So it'll be interesting to see who wins the belt.
So they already fought. They went to a draw. I don't remember that.
Yeah, because I think this year is like their strawweight tournament.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I'll always remember the fight that she had against Hamazaki, where her face just looked like mincemeat, like right after.
She also had that rough one with Jessica Aguilar, WSOF.
Oh yes, yeah. Any particular who you have a pick for Sugimoto versus Fujino?
It's hard to say. I mean, Fujino is just so powerful that it'll be interesting to see if Sugimoto can get her down. Because if Sugimoto can get her down, she can get some work done. But I mean, Fujino is a very tough lady. It's probably like at this point in her career, it's probably like the biggest strength. She's just incredibly tough. Just see what happens. But on the same day as that fight, Miki Matono, who is fighting in the road to the UFC, will be facing Huang in Shanghai in the opening round of that.
Yeah. So
kind of interesting. Did you notice that Huang's nickname is King Kong Barbie?
No, I did not.
Pretty good nickname.
Why did it take so long for Matono again to UFC at this point? You kind of figured that would have happened earlier.
I think this is the first time Road to UFC is kind of focusing on the China one.
Also, she lost her last fight. I see here. Usually, people who lose their last fight tend to not get in.
It's kind of interesting. I was talking to Shu about that because Shu put that fight together, and he was saying it doesn't really matter if you lose if you're fighting the right people in the right promotion. And apparently, that Elephant MMA with that fighter who is also in this tournament. What's her name?
Huang Fei.
Yeah, Huang Fei. It's Zhao Chang Fei or whatever. Feng. Yeah, I mean Feng's also in this tournament, and Feng also beat the girl that Motono is fighting.
I'm looking at Motono's opponent, and she's finished every opponent.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. What was it? 7 TKOs, 7 subs.
Yeah.
She fought Weili Zhang and Moreno Moroz back in like 2014.
So,
I mean, tough opponent for Motono.
Yes. I mean, do you think that Motono still has that? Does she still have like all that Abima backing and kind of like that little cult of personality that she seemed to be getting like near, like seems like it seemed to be more a little bit after the pandemic or during the pandemic, and then I don't know, I feel like it's kind of wavered off almost.
Well, I think what happened is she did the Abima show where they send a fighter to the US to train, and I think when it kind of opened her eyes and gave her a new goal, and fighting for the UFC became to her like, oh, this is something that I could actually do. MMA could be my career, not just a hobby. And so then she kind of reset. And then that's around the time that like Iridium was signing all those Japanese fighters. So she signed with Iridium. But then that wasn't really I don't know about that. But then she eventually, to get kind of the UFC's attention, what's that promotion called? Like Elephant MMA or Happy Elephant?
Happy Elephant MMA.
She fought for Happy Elephant. And I will say she's fought abroad twice. I think she's lost both times. But the first girl she lost to abroad, I mean, isn't that girl in the UFC right now?
Let's see. That would have been
Australia.
Eternal MMA probably.
Yeah.
Casey O'Neill.
Casey O'Neill's in the UFC now.
Is she? Yes, she is. Oh, she lost her last fight last year. Maybe she was released because she hasn't fought since last year. Maybe.
But and she's also a flyweight. So I mean, Matono fought. She fought flyweight.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So I mean, yeah, Miki Matono got thrown to the wolves in Australia, and it sounds like she kind of got thrown to the wolves in China. But
yeah. Well, here's
the interesting thing about her in this tournament, though, is I feel like a lot of the Chinese girls are kind of the same. They kind of have that like Kung Lee style.
Yeah. Also, whenever a foreign fighter fights in a Chinese promotion, you always have to take the win with like a lowercase w. Is always what I say. The only way you can win a fight in China is if you beat your opponent by finishing.
Well, her opponent finished her, so there's no dispute there.
Yeah.
So, but she's got to be the best judo person going into this tournament.
Mm.
And Motono is built like a brick shit house. She's so strong. If she's got her mind right, I think she could go pretty far, actually, because if she has the right game plan and is able to implement her judo, I think she could do very well.
So let's say she does win her division in Road to UFC. How do you think she would stack up against people that are like top 15 in strawweight? I don't know who's strawweight right now in UFC, so you maybe know.
So is the champion? I don't even know who the champion is. Is Weili Zhang?
Yeah, Weili Zhang. So that would be. I'm trying to think. So who the fuck else? So there's Weili Zhang.
Zhao Yanan.
The other Chinese, lady. Isn't Rose Namajunas? Rose Namajunas is flyweight now.
Flyweight now. Yeah, that's why I was confused. But I mean, there's Mizuki Inoue.
Oh, I mean, but she fights so infrequently. I don't know if that fight would ever happen.
They put the two only Japanese girls against each other. What is it, like Amanda Libos or whatever? I mean, they have some good girls, but I think she brings something interesting to the division because right now, like strawweight's kind of the division of really strong strikers in the UFC.
Yeah,
and Motono has a very good judo game.
Okay, so like Tatiana Suarez, Verna Jandiroba, Jessica Andrade, Mackenzie Dern, Marina Rodriguez, Cara Esparza, Tabitha Ritchie, Angela Hill, who I didn't know.
Angela Hill's the girl that Motono kind of rolled with when she was here, and I think they looked like they were competitive. So,
well, Angela Hill, it's always a toss up. It's like Benson Anderson, you know.
Well, I feel like Angela Hill always wins the fight she's supposed to lose, and loses the fight she's supposed to win, which is like maddening to me.
I would definitely say that I think that Motono could beat Karolina Kowal at this point.
Kowalkiewicz.
Yeah.
No, I think she could do well. It just depends. She's still pretty young, and if she got into the UFC and started focusing full time on MMA, it's just a matter of like how much could she improve.
Yeah.
Could she rise to the occasion?
Mm-hmm. I also don't know. Like it seems like UFC has more backing into the men's Japanese side, at least with Taira at this point.
I mean, clearly, I mean, they have Taira and Ray Tsuraya.
Yeah, I think they're getting more behind Taira though. He's being frequent. He's being featured frequently more. He's getting more fights.
We're getting a lot of attention, and more importantly, he's winning.
Yeah, that too as well. I don't know, but I don't see them putting the same moxie behind Motono, to tell you the truth. But I also know
that's hard to say that if she starts, it's the same thing with Taira though. I mean, if she starts finishing people and winning, they're going to give her more fights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, just think about it. If Ray Tsuraya keeps winning, and Taira keeps winning, and Sheets keeps winning, that might warrant a Japan show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then when they get Kai and they put Kai on the Japan show.
Yeah, exactly. When they get Kai, dude, if they get Kai, they'd be stupid not to do a Japan show.
Yeah, but listen,
schedule it the same weekend as Rizin.
Yeah, do it the same weekend as Rizin. They should do it at the what was it? Rizin should have it in the what was it? One part of the Saitama, and then UFC should run.
Yeah, I like that idea. Then they should have they should bring Gomi back and have him fight Melvin Gillard again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Rizin will die has a statement. Unfortunately for Matono, if she beats her first round opponent, it looks like the bracket includes Fang in her half for the next round, assuming she runs through opponent. I don't know how the bracket even is. I didn't even check. I
No,
just
looking at it, it's kind of funny because Motono is fighting a girl that also lost to Fang. So it
hmm.
seems to me that the way the UFC is kind of setting this up is just kind of the crowning moment for Fang to be the new Chinese star.
I think
Because
so. Yeah.
it's no secret that UFC is way more interested in the Chinese market. I mean, this is happening at the UFC Ape Gym in Shanghai, right? The PI is over there.
Yes. Yeah. But also, they run more shows in China. I mean, if you just look at their roster, who's their champion now? Is it one of their
Well,
champions is
Zhang
Whaley?
has to be a huge needle mover for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And it goes, dumb of them to not put that show on those two on a Chinese card, but whatever. But yeah, she's a champion. Yeah, there is definitely don't they have like a performance institute as well in China?
I think it's in Shanghai, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, there's nothing
Don't they
like
also have like that scholarship program, right? Don't they pay for fighters to like quit their jobs and train full time at the PI over there?
oh, I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that.
It's like
I know
a
is it and Japan has something like that for the Olympics, right? Where they pay where somebody kind of like earns a salary while training for the Olympics along those lines.
oh, what they do is they get a job for a company, and then that company just puts them on like the company judo team, and that becomes their job. That's what Saudi Oshima's husband does.
Gotcha. I think Miyu Moto had the same thing as well, kind of, right?
I do not know, but that would make sense. I mean,
But
Kana Watanabe before she went to MMA was part of like the professional judo team for the one of the rail stations.
yeah. It's people like to make fun of like the PFL when it comes to like favoritism booking. But if I'm just looking at the bracket right now, it's quite obvious how they want the finals to go.
Oh,
So,
who are people complaining about? I mean, isn't that the whole? Do people even watch Bellator? Wasn't that Scott Coker's whole thing?
oh
Was like
yeah,
it's just very clear, like he's just setting up like brutal finishes. I mean, didn't he had Linland fight Robbie Lawler in Strikeforce?
yeah.
Linland, who is just known for getting brutally knocked out at that point, he was like, let's put him
Oh,
against Robbie, see what happens.
history. That is the history of combat sports in general. Is that the promoter or even the fighter, if it's like a Floyd Mayweather, will
Yeah.
structure the fight to make it in his favor. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't know why. It's like suddenly people are like, oh, the sanctity of matchmaking has been sullied by the PFL because they're putting whoever versus
But this isn't pro wrestling. I mean, the other opponent has a chance to win. They
yeah,
can do
yeah,
whatever they can.
yeah.
This isn't
I
like
mean,
the
listen,
Lead XC where they're like delivering money to them and telling them not to take Kimbo down.
we just saw Rise of Fire take on a disbarred lawyer from Wyoming. So there's been no sanctity of matchmaking in the history of any
Well, if
sort of
anything, also I was always kind of thankful for it because you knew if you're watching Strikeforce back in the day, you may not have heard of all the fighters, but that usually meant that there was going to be some brutal finish happening in that
and you,
fight.
and you did bring up a good point. Remember Daniel Cormier, who I'm sure was a was an alternate in that. Wasn't he an alternate or replacement in that?
He was an alternate in the heavyweight tournament. Didn't he replace like Overeem or
Yes,
somebody?
he replaced Overeem and then destroyed Barnett. He destroyed
He's destroyed
everybody in that.
everybody. He won the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't think that he was somebody who knows betting stuff. Well, I don't know that betting was not that big at the time, but probably he was not the favorite to win. Sorry, didn't mean to derail. But
That was that crazy fight where he like threw Barnett up in the air
oh yes,
like a rag doll.
dump,
Yeah,
the dump. Chihiro Sawada. Want to talk about her?
ew. She just blitzed through the one championship rankings. She's ranked number 3 now. She's climbed to 8-0-1. I think her pro debut in Shooto was a draw, and that's because the fight was a 2-round fight, which leads to lots of draws, which is why I don't like 2-round fights. But she's only 26. She's a stud at wrestling. I mean, heavily decorated amateur wrestler. She's now joined a gym, Akatsuki, which is kind of known for striking. I think Panchan Rina trains there, and like I think Fat Ninja trains there too.
I
But
thought they trained. I thought Fat Ninja trained at Battle Box.
Well, I think he might move around because I see pictures of him with this guy training, so maybe he just goes there for striking lessons. But did you see her last fight? One championship?
I didn't watch any of that one. I had no time to, but I saw the results. And listen, why I just assumed that it was just destruction.
Well, dude, she's like very short. She's like 4'11", but she's put on some muscle to make up for like the difference in what one championship calls atom weight and actual atom weight.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, she's adept. I think Jay Wolf would be obsessed. She just threw her down and started kneeing her in the head from side control.
Mm-hmm.
Just like elbowing her in the face, well, not elbow, like forearms and kneeing her. And it actually got very close to being finished near the last final 10 seconds of the fight. But Herb Dean was just going to like let it go. He's like, I just let her eat the punches. But very measured approach. Salata was never in trouble, controlled the entire affair. And before that, she beat an even bigger opponent in her the fight before her most recent one. She beat Radzuan, who she's beat Itsuki, she's beat Vivi May, she's fought Stamp, she's fought Zamboanga. So I mean, Radzuan's kind of a staple of one championship, and Salata went right through her too. And after the fight, she's now saying she wants to fight Ham Sohi, who I think is ranked second.
Can I be honest? I totally forgot she was with one.
Well, she had that fight with Stamp last year, and I think she broke her arm or something in the fight.
And then she fought I forget. Oh my! Did she fight?
Itsuki.
Yeah, Itsuki. Yeah. Okay.
After her most recent fight was Stamp, where I think she broke her arm.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yes. That was 20. Okay. Yeah, I could kind of see that. But even before that, remember when she signed up one after beating Hamazaki, and then it was just look at this canceled fight, split decision Zambonaga, which should not have been a split decision. Canceled fight. Look, 2021, 2022, 2022. That yeah, she kind of had she's had this weird. It's been like, yeah.
Well, I think the Itsuki thing is weird too because Itsuki missed weight.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
One championship has like refused to stop playing that weighing clip nonstop all over social media. But no, I think one championship offered her a bunch of money, way more than Rizin did, and I think she made the right move.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Salata is 26. She's hungry. She's improving. I mean, if you watch her fights, she gets so much better between her fights. It's pretty crazy. And to think that she's only been fighting for such a small amount of time, and her striking actually she's very short, but her striking looked like it was a lot better in the last fight too. She threw like she's throwing a lot of kicks. I mean, that's what you got to do when you're that short. You got to make up for your lack of reach with your legs, I guess. But
you said something before that was interesting, that it seems like Rise is focusing less on their women's division, which would also mean atom weight. Do you foresee a lot of atom weights instead, since obviously UFC is not an option, possibly going to just, one might just be the option for them?
Well, Salata is an interesting case because what Salata is on record is telling me that she has no interest in fighting for Rizin. Salata only wanted to fight for one championship. One championship was her goal. One championship is where she wanted to fight. For those who don't know, her brother fought in one championship, so I think she kind of wants to. I mean, her brother fought in Shooto. She fought in Shooto. Her brother fought in one championship. She's fighting in one championship. I think it's very clearly that she's kind of emulating her older brother, and Rising was never an option for her in her mind. She told me that when she got started in MMA, it was always with the goal of fighting outside of Japan. And yeah, so I mean, makes sense. I'm happy that she achieved her goal so quickly.
Well, I hope she has a backup plan in case if one doesn't last. So hopefully she
also. I mean, if it doesn't work, Rising just doesn't put on that many fights. To be honest, not many atomweight fights. I think last year there's like less than 5.
I don't think the 46 had none. I don't think had any women's fights. If I recall.
Well, last year was weird because they had so many fights that weren't even atomweight fights.
Yeah, did Rizin? I don't think Rizin 46 had any women's fights.
No, it didn't. It didn't have any women's fights.
Yeah.
The only fight that's happened this year so far was the Claire Lopez fight, and Rena versus Yuri Shim.
Yeah, but nobody, well, I guess Yuri Shim is, you could say she's new, but like nobody else.
Isawa hasn't even fought for them yet this year, so.
You see, so is that? Do you think that the Deep Jewels bubble? I mean, not Deep Jewels. Sorry, the atom weight bubble has burst. Do you think that this just kind of it's lost its steam from how it was a few years
Yeah,
ago?
no, I think that when it first launched with like the Rena versus Kana Asakura tournament, that's kind of still to this day the peak of it, the interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they could redo it because Izawa does seem to be getting more popular now. She's kind of associated herself with the Asakuras by joining JTT.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of boosted her numbers. But there's other popular fighters as well. Rena's still got some juice left in her. I think if Machi does well, then it'll be big for them.
Mm-hmm. Do you foresee Rizin getting Machi at some point?
She's already fought for them.
Oh yeah, she did. Oh yeah, against
Ayako Watanabe.
yeah, Watanabe. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's she won that, I believe.
Yeah, it's very close. It might have been a split decision.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. We have you have like 4 more minutes left. I'm gonna just look at the clock, or like 5 more minutes.
Sure, go ahead.
You're looking forward to not Kai Mikaru versus Ren.
Yeah, it should be crazy. Babalu Jack sent me the ticket prices today. Just made me laugh.
How the ticket prices?
Ticket price, I'll pull it up. He sent it to me. It's like comical. I mean, they'll sell out. That's not the question. It's just what was it? The cheapest tickets are 1,600 yen.
That's about
Second,
160. Well, no, it's not. It's it's about,
the yen is so shit now. It's probably
I
like
know.
$100.
I'm so used to just taking out the zero. That's how it used to be. You just take out the zero. That's how much
Now
it
it's like probably close to like $110.
is. Okay.
But then it doubles for the next section.
Oh.
S section's double that.
Okay.
And then SRS is double, like 1.5 times that. So it's like 5,500 yen for SRS.
Okay.
Like lower tier VIP has 3 levels.
Okay.
Lowest level is like, I don't know, $1,800. Next level, 4,800. And then you got the top level VIP, which is probably like $8,000.
I don't know if you saw the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight was offering like all these weird like special things. Like you get like if you do like $2 million VIP seating, you can get like security to escort you to your seat and to out of your seat. Are they offering any like specialty things with like the really expensive tickets for Ren Mikaru?
Well, I mean, I bet they are.
You get to keep your
VIP,
shares?
I bet the VIP stuff, they usually get like a little package with stuff in it. Let's see. Be interesting to see. Was that Rising? Oh no, it's Super Rising. Let me see.
Yeah.
I think, let me see. It says with benefits. Ooh.
That can mean many things.
Doesn't list what they are, but yeah, you probably get like a bag with a signed poster in it, stuff like that. It's not going to be like One Championship where the VIP sections had like their own private club on the down low. It's wild.
Are you going to go to?
Just had like hot model chicks just like hanging around. I'm like, this is all right. Where's my VIP ticket?
If it's a ring girl, if it's a Rise of Ring Girls, I'm all for it.
Yeah, no.
I'm assuming you're not going to go to the show though, right? You're just going to watch it on a.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend that money now. What is it? Yeah, I'm not going to go with my wife. I'm not going to spend $1,000 to go to this. Japanese, for those who don't know, the Japanese economy is not doing well.
I heard, yeah. Most of us know that it's not. That's why you're getting all the tourists now because it's so damn cheap for almost every other place in the world.
Yeah.
Anything else? Women's MMA, JMMA. That's I don't know. I mean, Itsuki has a fight coming up as well, right? Who's she fighting again? I don't remember.
Who?
Itsuki Harada.
She does.
I thought she did. Did she? I thought she announced.
Maybe let me double check.
Why am I on Wikipedia? Wikipedia's never has that.
Because you're hip.
Yeah. Victoria Souza.
Oh yeah, June 7th. Where's that at?
It's not the Denver show. No, that's is that one of those little Thai shows? Yeah, it's in Thailand.
Okay, interesting. Oh, because they have that contract with the
Oh, of
stadium.
course. Stamp. That's Stamp and Zabanaga.
Yeah. Wait, Stamp's not fighting Zamboanga. Who's Stamp fighting?
Wait, is she not? I have here that she's fighting. It's Stamp versus Zabanaga.
Really?
Wow, this looks good for a one Thailand show, because usually Thailand shows are kind of fine.
Yes, maybe Stamp has just been scheduled so many times. Isn't Stamp fighting in Colorado against Zong?
Do they? Maybe. Yeah, she's got 2 fights listed. One, yeah, yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, dude, that's the funny thing about one championship. If they love you, they give you so many fights. I mean, they literally have her double booked.
It's so funny that some people get so many fights, and then you have people who get no fights.
Yeah, they had that Chinese girl like leading something who hadn't fought in years, just waiting on the sideline.
Well, no, remember
me and coach.
All those kickboxers from who's that kickboxer who had 2 fights, and then did he retire or something because he just couldn't get any more fights? And
Dude, how did they even do that? She's set to fight in June against Zamboanga, who's a good fighter. Then she's set to fight in September against Zong, who's also a good fighter. Like, I hope she doesn't get.
I don't know. Maybe the Thai commission allows that. Maybe you can. Well, I mean, you have kids there who have 100 fights by the age of 8. So I don't know. I don't think the Thai commission.
I kind of think Stamp's probably more popular than Angela Lee was.
I think so. Stamp's been fighting a lot more, I think, as well. So I think her presence.
Angela Lee's retired, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot she retired. Yeah.
No, I think
there's another Lee coming, right? Isn't there another Lee that they just signed?
Christian Lee.
No, but I think didn't they have another? The Lees have I think a lab where they just create.
Not to be insensitive, but are you talking about Angela Lee's sister who passed on?
Yeah, no. She had a sister. I thought they signed. I thought there was another Lee sibling who just got signed.
It's possible.
Unless it wasn't a Lee that was related to them. I don't know. It's very yeah. But anything else? Anything else, DJ, going on?
Yes, I was close with the fighters. I say keep an eye out for Chihiro Sawada and Honoka Shigeta. Honoka's killing it in Pancrase. She's a stud. It blows my mind that she's only been pro for a year and she's already won the title. And there we go. It's another sibling that's fighting an Italian amateur.
That's what I thought. It's just the least, yeah. When I mean,
the amount of money that they probably make, it'd be foolish not to get into it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They had their own gym, and then I think they closed it down, though, right?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
So, yeah, Sawada and Honoka, those are the Japanese fighters to keep an eye out for.
But what about Pancrase? I know you just went to the Pancrase show. That was a few weeks ago. Were there any of the women there worth?
Karen won. She beat Ghost. Ghost is back. I like Ghost. No, but Karen's putting it together, man.
She might be the best out of the formerly Pravjara people. Dude, maybe.
I thought of you the other day. I was watching TV and Tiger Date was on TV. I don't know why. I don't know why he was on TV, but he was on some show.
I'm so sorry. I got to ask, but is Pravjara still around? Because they used to be on every Pancrase card. There seemed to be a date. And now they're just not on anymore. So
Nodi recently fought. Nodi fought in Pancrase and lost to Fumi, who is a very promising up and comer that I'm very high on. But she also is training with Kondori, right? doing pro wrestling now.
Okay. Yes.
And I spoke to her mother after the last Pancrase show, and it seems like Nodi's probably going to be focusing now more fully on. It's hard to do both, right? So I think she's going to be focusing on pro wrestling, where Darani's YouTube channel seems to have kind of picked up, and his OnlyFans, and seems to have like weird videos where he's like bungee jumping and like thongs and stuff. So
Yes.
hey, credit to him. At least he makes original content. He's just not copying what the Asakura brothers do.
He's not dressing up as a nerd and like pretending
No.
to want
He's
it,
wearing very, very tiny man thongs and doing stuff. So
pissing off what do you call them? Nappas?
oh Nampa, yeah.
Nampas, not pissing off Nampas in Gabachigo.
No, yeah. So I mean he's making original content and yeah, I think he's leaning more into his OnlyFans and YouTube now.
Okay. What was the other? There was the other big. There was one other fight that happened on. Was it the 3 women's fight in the Pancrase show you went to?
Oh no, the last one it was just one, but the one before that with Honoka had 3, where Honoka won the title. That was a while ago though.
Oh, Satomi and Fujita.
Oh my god, that's so crazy. If you would be like, hey, Honoka and Satomi are fighting, who's gonna win? I probably would have said Satomi because Fujita kind of crumbles under pressure against some of the higher caliber fighters. But if you would have told me that Takano was going to knock her out with a punch, I would not have believed it. And she sent Fujita to the shadow realm. Like Fujita, it was not like a TKO. She just absolutely obliterated her.
Yeah.
Right. Props to her. She's now been a Shooto champion and she's now the Pancrase champion.
Great. Maybe future opponent for Izawa. They like doing that usually.
No, that's Izawa's got to fight Oshima. And who's Honoka wants to fight Izawa.
Wait, Honoka wants to fight Izawa? Can Honoka make atomweight?
She said she can. Her goal is to fight in Rizin. Been very clear about it. She actually went to the temple and wrote like one of those prayer boards that they burn. And I think when she won, she didn't say Izawa's name, but she was like in her post-fight speech saying that her goal is to fight that double belt holder over there kind of thing. So she heavily alluded to the fact that her goal is to fight Izawa.
Okay. Gotcha.
Which would be interesting because even at flyweight, Honoka's built like a brick shithouse. She looks so strong.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I would, if she could make flyweight, I'm not, excuse me, not flyweight, atomweight. Listen, the fight that would have been a great fight to have is Sawada versus her, in my opinion.
Oh, that'd be interesting. But I like them both, so I don't want that to happen.
Good question from Rizin Will Die. Honoka is short for flyweight. Will she permanently move to strawweight?
I mean, she mentioned that she said she can fight at strawweight. I think she also might have alluded to that she could also get down to atomweight. I don't think she cuts that much weight to get to flyweight, to be honest.
She doesn't look like she does, right? At least just from the eye test.
And also, if she went to Rising has been having some strawweight fights with like Machi and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if she's saying she can fight Izawa, to me that means that she thinks she could somehow make atomweight, or at least super atomweight.
Gotcha. Anyway, TJ,
I've seen her train at the Black Belt Japan. She doesn't seem to be that much bigger than Kana and Karen.
Okay, gotcha. TJ, it's been an hour.
Perfect.
Want to plug your stuff?
Yeah, so go-kaku.com. Sometimes do a podcast with Shu. Sometimes do a podcast with Bob Jack. But we're all very busy. So unfortunately, it's not as regular as we'd like. But yeah.
Yes. Check out Let's Talk JMMA. That's my favorite JMMA podcast besides this one, of course.
Yeah. Well, I'd also just like to say it's kind of exciting. One of our friends, the WMMA news guy, Chuck over there, is actually sponsoring Saudi Oshima going into this Deep Jewels event.
Ah, yes.
So kind of exciting to see foreign sponsors coming in and sponsoring some of the fighters. So props to him. I think he's sponsoring her for this fight and her next fight. So
How's
great
that?
news.
Just quickly, like, how's that? How do you have to maneuver that to spot? Do you just contact their management? Do you contact the promotion? How's that whole
Well,
work out?
a lot of the fighters will like say essentially, which is what Oshima did. I have a fight coming up. We're looking for sponsors. Then they'll, if you inquire about it, they'll kind of send you a picture of the shirt and the shorts, give you a price for what each piece of real estate cost, and then they'll say like it's cheaper. If you like do a bunch of fights, they'll give you like a lower rate, kind of like a year-long sponsorship kind of deal. But because the dollar is so strong, it's not that expensive to sponsor Japanese fighters. Turns out, so yeah.
I'm thinking about maybe doing that. I sponsored Grant Bogdanov's gym.
Oh
And
yeah.
it wasn't so much it was a sponsorship that was also a scholarship. So they put the logo on the on like a big thing in the.
You know, he did the commentary at the last Pancrase show, right?
Well, you see, Pancras is not the easiest to watch outside. I know he did, but unfortunately, I cannot comment.
You don't want to watch Tag It?
So Tyget does not archive it. You have to watch it live. So you fall asleep or you missed it, you're fucked.
I mean, you're just not a real fan then.
Sorry, what was that?
You're just not a real fan then. But
yeah, I guess I'm not a real fan. Yeah.
So the tricky situation though would be actually getting the money to the fighters, but you just have to wire the money to them. Everything in Japan is done with bank transfers. So you just wire them the money. And I'll say if people need help communicating with fighters, I helped him translate some of the communications, make it go smoother. And yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say, because sometimes you can't even sometimes buy things in Japan with a foreign credit card. So I'm just like, how the money, like, even that's probably the more difficult thing than anything else.
Right. Well, I mean, you and I should sponsor a fighter. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who to sponsor though. I don't know. Do you pick the worst fighter to sponsor so you get cheap, or
wait?
You
what's
pick
the good one?
Do
you remember when Hannibal Perez sponsored that girl at Invicta? He sponsored the Brazilian girl. He sponsored the Brazilian girl that missed weight, but he was like her exclusive sponsor. So her entire outfit was just pictures of his face. It was hilarious.
That's so dumb. That's
hilarious. No, but we should. After this, we should talk. I think it'd be funny. We should come up with a funny logo, just the two of us, and slap it on someone's shorts. That'd be hilarious.
Okay. Hey, maybe Aya, since she already met us.
Yeah, the logo could just be her slapping the shit.
You know what? I was gonna say to put that, and that will be like plastered on her butt. Just me getting
forever memorialized. Her just slapping you.
Forever on the Deep channel. Anyway, gotta head out. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Make sure to watch Deep Jewels on what day was it? May 26th, I think.
Yeah.
May 26th. Right. And then the SHOOTO show is on
18th.
18th. Which will be on YouTube.
Also fights on the 18th, so support her.
Yeah.
And
that's on ESPN Plus, I believe, or UFC Fight Pass or whatever. I don't even know at this point. SHOOTO will be on YouTube, I think, right?
I don't know.
Aren't they doing the YouTube thing?
It's on Unext over here, so I'm the worst person to ask. I'm the worst person to ask if you're asking how to watch something outside of Japan.
My bad. Yeah. It'll be uploaded to the YouTube channel eventually. SHOOTO's been actually pretty good about that recently.
Dude, random comment. The Deep Jewels 45 poster looks awesome.
Yeah. It's much better than any Bellator poster within, I guess.
Bellator, I think, might have had the worst posters consistently of any promotion of all time.
I can't knock the consistency and shittiness. At least they were consistent about it.
Yeah. Say that about a lot of aspects of the promotion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Many. Anyway, take a try. We'll talk again.
Talk to you later.